Ladies and gentlemen, check out the segment prior to this one about the Durham probe special counsel releasing 5,000 classified documents. They have thousands they have thousands more in terms of classified information they haven't given to defense in terms of discovery. So the government already has provided, this is a Washington Times article, the government already has provided Mr. Danchenko's attorneys with 5,000 classified documents and 61,000 unclassified documents. According to the filing, Mr. Durham wrote that he's turned over the bulk of the classified evidence. The bulk of the classified evidence doesn't mean all the classified data that he has. Mr. Danchenko last fall was charged with repeatedly lying to the Federal Bureau of Investigation about how he compiled information for Christopher Steele's salacious and unverified dossier that was filled with now debunked accusations tying President Donald Trump to Russia. A trial is set for October. Now, this is not going to be difficult for Durham to get a conviction. I know people are going to say, nothing's ever going to happen. Just write a $20,000 check to the Democratic National Committee. By the way, to my super thanks, to the people who give super thanks to these segments, thank you so very much. To my new Patreons also, thank you. But the super thanks people, thank you so much. It's so kind of you. And to the people who want to donate and support my work via Patreon, I cannot thank you enough. I will have a live stream tonight, ladies and gentlemen, at around 9 p.m. Pacific. So be here for the live stream and become a member of this channel. If you want to read my writing in The Hill, The Huffington Post, Salon, The Jerusalem Post, The Federalist, other publications, go to hagoodman.com. And I have 2 segments prior to this one. Go also to the Stock Market Crash channel and the Nuclear Confrontation channel. I have important segments there today also. So I'll just read this to you again. The government has provided Mr. Danchenko's attorney with 5,000 classified documents and 61,000 unclassified documents. According to the filing, Mr. Durham wrote that he's turned over the bulk of classified evidence. Now, he's going to withhold, he's keeping likely hundreds, possibly thousands of classified documents. The interesting thing is, why is he turned over the bulk but not all the classified data? Here's the issue that the Steele dossier source faces that Sussman didn't face. He got acquitted, Sussman, but we got information. So if you read like Mother Jones or other publications, they've said, oh yeah, the Durham probe was a failure because they didn't indict Sussman. What Mother Jones and other publications ignore is that Robbie Mook and Mark Elias pointed the finger at Hillary Clinton in a court of law for the first time ever. This was the first time ever that Hillary Clinton, in a court of law, was accused of personally organizing and spreading information about Trump she knew to be false. The effort to undermine Trump's presidency was not just by loyalists within the U.S. government. It was by loyalists among media. There were journalists who were more than happy to spread false, fake, derogatory, salacious news about Trump, knowing not only was it baseless, but it was an organized effort to undermine Trump. They would never allow a dossier to be purchased by Rudy Giuliani or the Republican National Committee against them. They would never allow a dossier to be utilized by the United States government against them. Furthermore, they would never allow an official within Clinton's campaign or Biden's campaign to meet with, to have a meeting with an Australian diplomat used as the basis to investigate an incoming presidency. Okay, so when George Papadopoulos, by the way, was innocent, exculpatory evidence in the form of recordings that show he never told Alexander Downer any of the things he's alleged to have stated. All of that was withheld, and then they got him on lying about something that had nothing to do with the meeting. See, what they did with Trump and with this entire fiasco was they indicted people for allegedly lying to agents and officials who were setting up Trump. The initial claim was that Trump was colluding with foreign intelligence agents. That, of course, was nonsense. The people who leveled that claim were also the people who said, Michael Flynn lied. George Papadopoulos lied. And then they got Paul Manafort on something that he has nothing to do with what they were accusing Trump of 10 years earlier. So this was the indictments for the Mueller probe. They were public relations stunts. They had nothing to do with national security. What Democrats have done from impeaching Trump, when they impeached Trump even though the president of that country stated, yeah, he never pressured me. And his predecessor stated he never pressured me. By the way, that country was invaded by the Kremlin under Biden's watch, not under Trump's watch. So it's like all the nightmares that were supposed to have happened during Donald Trump's administration are happening during mashed potato brains Biden's administration. All recession, real wages down 4.4%, household median income plummeting, credit card debt just at an all-time high. Oil prices, they're going to continue to go back up very quickly, but we're in a recession, a contracting economy. We'll have a contracting economy in the third quarter also. Hit subscribe to the Stock Market Crash channel. I have some important segments on there today. And so they say, well, the jobs report was good. Oh, it took 2 years to get people employed. We had a record low unemployment in the beginning, by the end of 2019, and by March of the next year, we had 22 million people unemployed. So what do you expect? It took 2 years, but real wages are down 4.4%, whereas real wages were up under Trump. Household median income hit a record under Trump. We had poverty at 10% under Trump. We have poverty at 14 to 15%. Now it's getting worse. And there's a complete breakdown in society. You can look at things taking place, ladies and gentlemen, that didn't take place while Trump was in office. There's a complete and utter breakdown in society. And that's what happens when you have Democrats in the House, the Senate, and you just have media focusing on Trump's personality and ignoring everything that's going on. It's really terrible. I mean, there was a tragedy, an absolute tragedy that took place in a McDonald's in New York. I can't even believe, and you can look it up, okay? And the complete silence from media. The complete and utter silence from media. And if it was a supporter of Trump, or if it was like, some kind of person that if it was like, if it was a story that they could spin to enact certain legislation against the Second Amendment, they could spin it, okay? Which they actually could in a way, but they won't, because the story doesn't fit the media's kind of rubric or template or blueprint for going up against the Second Amendment. But this was a tragedy, lady. That worker at McDonald's should be alive today. I mean, God bless him and his family. And it's like you're working as a young person at McDonald's and you're working hard for your money and your life is taken over fries. I mean, look up that story. I mean, this is a complete and utter breakdown in society. A complete and utter breakdown in society. It's happening in blue states primarily, ladies and gentlemen. And no one's focusing on that on the left. Because you have to understand, the most prejudiced are the people who claim to be morally superior, on the left especially. They're the most prejudiced. They're the people who are willing to accept the most atrocities as long as it doesn't interfere with their political public relations spin. Anyway, give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe to this channel. Hit subscribe to the Stock Market Crash channel. And also the Nuclear Confrontation channel. Ladies and gentlemen, I will have a live stream tonight at around 9 p.m. Be here. And the reason I brought up that McDonald's tragedy in New York is because you likely haven't heard about it. Just look it up, and it's an absolute catastrophe. And it's something that I can assure you, the top liberal channels, the $20 million venture capital funded people, they're not bringing that up. And there's a reason they won't bring it up. And it ties into I don't want to say it ties in directly to what we're talking about in this segment, but hit subscribe to this channel. Thank you so very, very much.